A few days ago, I had one of my biggest trading days. I made up to 7k on an account of about 9k. So I'm going to be breaking down all the trades and how I was actually able to go about the trades that I took that particular day. Now, what's up guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your boy V Dollar back in today's video. So without any further ado, we are going to dive straight into the charts, have a clear look on how I was actually able to get these trades in. Before that, I'm going to be talking about the pairs that I actually traded and how I was actually able to get the positions first. So looking at the trades, I was trading US oil and then GBP JPY, and I opened up trades on US oil, but then later on I was able to scale in more positions. Either way, I did the same thing on GBP JPY. So I'm also going to show you how I was actually able to come up with the positions that actually scaled in. So let's dive straight into the chart. Alright, now we are going to go over the breakdown of both US oil and GBP JPY on how it's actually able to capture those beautiful moves. Now before we go in, this video is sponsored by Triple FX, one of the best brokers, and I recommend you guys open up an account. The link is in the description below, and let's slide straight into the breakdown. So looking at US oil, now this is on the hourly, and then this is the trade that I caught up here. So you guys can see this right here. Let me go ahead and delete this first. Okay, there we go. So this is the beautiful move that I actually caught on US oil. Now, how did I even come up with this trade? So I'm going to show you how I get this trade surely, because it's just an easy process. You only have to make it simple, not even making it difficult in your mind, because if you think it's difficult, then it's going to really seem complicated. All right, now looking at US oil, obviously initially we were looking at a series of lower lows and lower highs right over here, you know, a series of lower lows, lower highs, meaning it was a clear downtrend. Now, I always say that I never trade against the trend. That's a sure deal. I never go against the trend. If it's a downtrend, I'm looking for sales. An example is looking at this trade that I took the previous day before I got this beautiful move. So you can see again, I had taken sales. Why? Because we were still in a downtrend. So that's a very, very key thing that we have to consider before getting any trades in. Now, away from that, let's look at this trade that we caught here. Now, looking at we were coming down, coming for pullback, coming down, coming for pullback. Now, the key point is we looking at these pullbacks. So you only have to mark out pullbacks. Why does the pullback close? Getting the point where it closes means we are going to be getting an entry. And obviously, you don't have to enter trade there because there's a pullback. No, you have to wait for the pullback to close off. You can only do that by marking out maybe key chart patterns or even the candlestick pattern. So let me show you something real quick. So this is what happened initially. So we formed something of the sort, and then we later came down. So going down to the charts, exactly how I saw this. There we go. So we had this move down, and then all of a sudden we formed this descending triangle. This is basically how it looks like in real. So it's this way, and then this way, and then this way, right? So basically when we form a descending triangle, we expect ourselves to come down. So that's what I was looking at. Now let's go ahead and scale down to those smaller time frames, and we shall really have a clear look. So this was seen on the hourly time frame. So let's try go down to around the M15, and we are actually still having good sales over here, and we could still catch that same trade today. So on the M15, this is how we were looking like, very, very clear. So on M15, we can see that we came back for a pullback on the pullback right here, and then we started going to the upside. Now this process of going to the upside is just a pullback because the initial direction is the downside, right? Now let's check this out. So as we were pushing to the upside, all of a sudden the buyers were losing control. How do you even know that? You can easily know that by looking at the size of the candlesticks. If you see big bullish candlesticks forming, obviously that means buyers are still in total control. And then all of a sudden, if you see the sizes of the candlesticks reducing, it means those buyers are losing power. Either way, it applies for sales. If you see the red candlesticks smaller, that means sellers are losing power. If they are bigger, that means they are stronger. Okay, so that's just an easy concept. Now, an example is right over here. Check this sell that we took with a series of big red candlesticks, meaning sellers were in total control. You guys can see that, and then all of a sudden right here we saw a change, a reversal. Okay, so looking at the trade, basically how we got it, you guys can see that I came down and then I formed that descending triangle, and obviously what I was expecting was the sales. Now you can see obviously initially we have big green candlesticks right here. The green ones are the ones for the buyers, red green candlesticks, boom, and then all of a sudden we can't see anymore. And then what comes next is we break the descending triangle. Obviously our first target was around this level here, but the sellers were really so stronger, and we had to break through, pushing straight up down. Okay, so that's the whole concept. Now we are going to look at what happened later on that day. So we had this beautiful move, but I had marked out this level because I had seen it being respected the previous time, so I knew something would actually happen at that same level. So checking on the H1 or the H4, basically we can see that I'd marked out this level. Why? Because it had been respected 1-2 times already, and then the third time. Now obviously what we can also look at right now is we could see ourselves again coming up to this level. We could see ourselves pushing down up to this level again, because it's a key level still. It's being respected, still a key level. So we could see ourselves coming down, pushing up to this level right over here, and we shall see some key reaction because it's still a key level. Okay, let me try to adjust the take profit. The stop loss rather. There we go. So let's also look at GBP JPY, and we shall see maybe a quick one how I scaled in these trades. Okay, on US oil initially I'd gotten these trades around here. You guys can see that I'd gotten the trades around here. The first ones were gotten around here, and then I scaled in over here. Now this was the biggest move. Why? Because we were on a pullback. So the key point is you can always scale in trades every time we are on pullbacks. Okay, now let's have a look at GBP JPY. And GBP JPY, this is the move that we caught right around here. So how even? Easy stuff. We can even still see that we have the same trades right about now. Let me just try to extend these trend lines. Okay, wow, beautiful one. All right, now what happened? There we go. So I had two trend lines, one up, one down. So obviously when you have two trend lines, you are forming a channel. So it's the same thing that I was looking at. As you can see, the market came down, bounced off, came up, bounced down, down, bouncing up. Basically just a series of bounces, bouncing off the upper trend line and then the lower trend line. Obviously that means these levels were being respected. So right over here we were right here, and what I expected was we bouncing off this trend line because it had happened previously. So obviously if it happens once, it's going to if it actually happens once, twice, then more often enough it's going to happen for the third time. So it's the same thing. It happened once, twice, 3 times, literally almost 4 times, 5 times. So it's the same thing. So the same thing actually even here. We are going to get buys again. This is a very good trade. I'll update you about this. But this is a beautiful trade. Why? Because we are bouncing off the trend line, and again it had happened previously, so that gives us some confidence that okay, this is going to happen again. Okay, so that's how basically I was able to get these beautiful trades on GBP JPY and US oil, and that's how I was able to catch those big moves, and I made the biggest money on a given trading day. So I hope you guys really enjoyed the breakdown, and I'll see you can also go ahead and get these GBP JPY buys and then US oil sells, and I'll see you out.